everybody, welcome back to the Organ Makers channel. Today I am going to show you how I made this trio of fox items for a baby shower. So started with crocheting a whole bunch of these hexagons. These are going to form the base of the blanket. So you can see I'm starting with a magic loop, which allows you to pull that down to have less of a gap in the center of the hexagon. And I am following a pattern that you can find linked in the notes below. So just finishing up that first row of the hexagon. You might notice I have a new background for the yarn projects. This is the table that Mike built in another video that I'll have linked here for you if you'd like to see that build. Got a couple more rows of the hexagon and just about to finish off this first one. Going to finish it off with a slip stitch just in that final stitch right there, having trouble getting it through. There we go. Snip the yarn, pull it through. Hexagon 1 complete. My Tower of Babel fell over. That's okay. We'll keep stacking this way. So, whole bunch of hexagons later, we have the basis for the blanket. I'm going to lay it out here in a pattern. So have one of the light blue hexagons in the center, surrounded by all the navy blue, and then alternating navy blue, light blue, navy blue, gray, and doing a repeat of that pattern around the outside edge. And with as many tails as there are, the snap doesn't always work the first time. There we go. Now we've got it snapped and all woven together. Now we're going to make the largest of the fox heads that we made. This is the one that goes directly on the blanket. So very similar process. Going to start with that magic loop that we can just cinch down. You can see I had a little trouble here at the beginning. Sometimes when I overthink it, I forget how the magic loop works. If I just do it, then it works just fine. So counting my stitches to make sure I get the right starting number. You can see I've cinched that loop down now. And then this is just my stitch marker. I know a lot of people use like actual stitch markers, and I do that as well when I knit. You can see me do that in the fish hat video, which you can watch. I'll put a link to that as well here. But when I'm crocheting, I've just found that a little piece of scrap yarn as a row marker works a lot better for me. I can stick it in there, I can crochet the row around, and then when I get to the end, I can just slip that little extra thread out and move it up and continue on with the next row. So now I'm going to start doing the switch back and forth between white and orange. So it's going to be half of the round is knitted with the white, or I'm sorry, crocheted with the white, and then the other half is crocheted with the orange. And I'm just doing thread maintenance as I go. Luckily, all of this is on the inside of the fox, which is just going to be stuffed with cotton batting anyways, so I don't have to worry too much about trying to weave in all these ends. I just trim them and knot them so that I know they won't come undone, and then smush them to the inside and then keep going. All right, and now we're switching back to the orange. And there's a little trick to switching colors. You can see I didn't fully complete that final white stitch. If you do that final pull through with your next color, you won't have that weird two-tone stitch that you can get when you're switching color with crochet. So that's technically the final white stitch, but you can see I've pulled it through with the orange. So now when I continue on, it'll be a very clean color change. So if you're doing color work in crochet and that weird little half colored stitch bothers you, that's a tip for getting everything to be nice and smooth. So here you'll be able to see that really well with kind of the close-up. So you can see I just pulled, obviously I have the camera angled a little too low, but you can kind of see I just pulled that final orange stitch up instead of using white. So now I've gotten pretty close to the point with the decreases where I want to go ahead and stuff this, because if you get that opening too small, you're going to have trouble getting the stuffing in. So I'll pause, I'll stuff it most of the way, and then I'll finish up the final decreases to close up that top of the fox head. So you can see I just pull that tail real long so that I know I won't lose any stitches while I'm doing the stuffing. And this is a natural cotton stuffing. I really like this stuffing because it'll last forever and it's not plastic. But you really have to fluff it when you first use it. It can really compact, so you can kind of see I had to do some extra fluffing before I could stuff it into the little ball here. So I've closed it up. I'm going to do one final slip stitch just to finish off that end. And there we go. And now we're going to just send him up to get the rest of him. So little sleeping fox face. This will get attached to the blanket. His little ears. Super precious. There we go. So he's on the blanket. He's got a little moon that he's holding. He's also holding the blanket. We've added some stars to the edge as well. And so this is just a little lovey. It's a little bit of a blanket and, oh, here we go. Rattle. I love that sound. So it's a little bit of a combination of like a comfort blanket and a stuffed animal. This is a pacifier clip, so this end can go on fabric, whatever fabric you'd like it to. You put the pacifier on that loop on the end there, and then when the baby drops the pacifier, it doesn't just fall to the ground. That pacifier clip holds it in place. So super cute set. I really loved making this. The rattle is adorable. I love the way it sounds. I love these loveys. I think they're absolutely precious. And that's how I made it.